Good job, Larry. Good job.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, we want to thank our sponsors, Fitzgerald's Casino and Hotel, Desoto Athletic Club, Homer Skelton Hyundai, Miller Lite, the City of South Haven, Keller's Pawn Shop, Tunica, Zaxby's Chicken, and the Village Station Restaurant. And all of our post-fight party here tickets out.
It's going to happen again. You got to get on top of it. Whatever they're going to do.
You know, they got to do something about it. Maybe it's fighting another round.
I don't know. They can't stop, fight again, and lock up.
Yeah.
You know, no. I'm giving my ear a rest right now because it's hurting and bleeding.
Hang on, he's giving traffic.
Hold on.
Hang on one second.
Hang on, my earpiece isn't in.
The earpiece fell out.
Okay, go ahead. My ears bother me. All right, let's go. Okay, Sean, here's how it stands after that drought in Mexico City, then losing the first heavyweight fight tonight. Memphis has taken charge in this and has won the last two fights. It's 2-1.
Well, they are utilizing this crowd, this hometown crowd, to spur them on, give them a little bit of inspiration. They really got their spirit broke on the road, so that fighting here at home just means so much more to them.
Well, I'm interested in seeing Luis Diaz here for Miami fight for the Dominican Republic, just 20 years old. He got in yesterday, joined the team yesterday.
Welcome to America.
He's a big fan, being from the Dominican Republic, of Juan Guzman, a great fighter. This guy's a lefty, and he was very excited. And through our interpreter, Angel, who's right there, is the interpreter for the Miami team. He said, "I'm just ready to go. I fight all styles." Good.
Ladies and gentlemen, from your Memphis force, Detelin Dalakliev.
Okay, this is Detelin Dalakliev from Bulgaria. And we didn't get to know him very well at all because he just refuses to try to speak English because he had no idea. But once again, the international flavor. This guy comes with a big two-time European Championship, silver medalist, 2009 world champion.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Desoto Civic Center and the fourth bout of the evening in the World Series of Boxing. It's a 5-round battle in the bantamweight division, representing the Miami Gallos and fighting from his home country of the Dominican Republic. In the blue corner, please welcome Luis Miguel Diaz. And ladies and gentlemen, representing the Memphis Force, fighting from his hometown of Pleven, Bulgaria, in the red corner, please welcome Detelin Dalakliev. Referee for this bout, Gerardo Poggi. Judges, Tony Germain, Larry Furby, and Ricky Webb.
Okay, there's your referee, Gerardo Poggi, giving the final instructions. And there you see the corner, Luis Diaz, scheduled for 5. Here we go, bantamweight division, the Bang Bang division. The last two we're going to have tonight, bantamweights and lightweights. And like I said, we'll see what this Dominican has. You know, a lot of those fighters, I was noticing, look at Dalakliev. He's coming out with bad. He's a big bantamweight, tall bantamweight.
Tall bantamweight, and he's thin. He's really skinny. You know, you look at this guy out in the streets or in the dressing room, you think the guy's weak, but he is very strong in that ring.
Oh, here comes back Diaz. I told you that was the Bang Bang division. Don't take a breath, folks, because they're going to be throwing the entire time. These guys have energy to burn.
Southpaw stance from him. His idol, you talked about it, Juan Guzman, who is a terrific fighter. World champion.
Well, I was talking to some of the guys about the Dominican fighters. A lot of them go to train in Puerto Rico because they feel like they get better sparring partners by going over there. There's not as much to choose from in the Dominican. They all pretty much, I call it kind of a Caribbean style. The Cubans fight the same way, the Puerto Ricans fight the same way. There's different styles in different countries, just the way you brought it up. Mexicans fight different than Americans or Europeans, and the Dominican style is more of a little bit of everything. You know, they throw big punches, and they'll get in and mix it up. They'll mix it up, but they like to move. They like to have good foot movement.
Yeah. And look at this good foot movement from his opponent today. Dalakliev is really wily in there. Man, he really steps around, slides around, and scores. He's a good fighter. Look at the big shoulders from him. The shoulders kind of wrap around his chin.
Well, he's throwing punches in bunches and a lot of power behind him. He's got big shoulders for a 118-pounder.
Sure does, but he's not getting through yet. He's still hitting on the gloves and not really connecting to the chin or to the striking area.
Well, I tell you what, from the little bit we talked to Diaz, he wasn't lacking in any confidence whatsoever. None at all. So
he said, I can do it all.
I can do it all. And he's, like you said, the punches he's taken really haven't gotten through so far, but here he comes back trying to do it on his own conditions, not the other guy's conditions.
A lot of hooks from him. Not many straight punches from Miguel Diaz.
Well, you're going to see, like I said, the European style, which the Bulgarian has. It's straight punches all the way. I mean, that's where they come. They come right up the middle.
But he does a nice job of tucking his chin. See how he keeps his chin way down? And then he could stand up taller, but he kind of slumps down to get the same height as his opponent.
He just got caught with a left hand and made it through the gloves right there. Best punch of the round for Diaz. Final 15 seconds in the blistering first round. Look at Diaz turning around. Now he's going southpaw on us.
A lot of talent from him.
Yeah, he's a tough little customer. Good action first round, probably a very even round. Scheduled for 5. Now, Pat Burns, we said, what do you know about him? He said, his fighter. Well, that's not him. That's the other corner, Coach Bradley. But here he is. He said, well, I've been curious to find out. I haven't seen him fight.
I haven't seen him yet, but you know what? Pat Burns is such a professional. He can look at a fighter. He can look at the way a fighter stands and in the weigh-in and figure out whether he can fight or not. Pat Burns knows the sport.
You got a T-shirt there, Sean.
Hey, perfect. Right to me. I had some guy punched, took it away from me.
Oh, here's the scoring. Two judges gave it to Diaz. Two judges gave it to Dalakliev, a new feature that we've just come online. You can see round by round what they have it. So the Bulgarian got the first round.
Yeah, that was a difficult round.
I thought it could go
score.
either way, though. I really did. I thought it could go either way. Round 2 scheduled for 5. Hope you're enjoying the action tonight. From just across the border from Memphis, Tennessee, we're in Mississippi. If you want to Google it, it's look at the little guy now. He must have heard that scoring in the first round. Diaz throwing a whole bunch of wide shots right there, Sean.
A lot of wide punches. I'd like to see him throw some straight shots. But nice foot feints. Look at these turns from him. I do like that. You know, it reminds me a little bit of one of my favorite boxers from that region, Alfredo Benitez, who turned and he's a great champion. He moved from the top half of his body, and he was amazing. Punches from.
Oh, they love their boxing in the Caribbean.
Detelin.
If you're a champion from down there, you're set for life. They love you for life.
Very loyal fans in that area, that region. Good combination.
That's powerful punches right there.
Dalakliev.
I think
good punches.
Dalakliev has got obviously the power advantage in this fight.
But he hadn't brought it out yet, I don't believe. He realizes that he's punching, just trying to punch through those gloves. He's not really found a home for.
Diaz almost landed a big one up top, but Dalakliev had a good foot movement and got out of the way. A head movement, I should say, Sean. Very important when you're getting countered, that head movement.
Oh,
I think they're just going to go toe-to-toe here before it's over with and just let the best man stand. That's what's going to happen in this division.
Well, you certainly have seen a different complexion this round than you saw in that first. Remember how the early part of this round, it was Diaz who came out with those wild swinging hooks. Dalakliev,
look at Diaz
stepping around, too.
Look at him stalking him right there. Look at him now. He's a tough little customer, isn't he?
He's very confident, and he throws a lot of wide punches.
Once again, this is our lowest weight class division, folks, the 118-pounders. Always, to me, I just love watching these lower weight classes fight. We do a lot of fights in Mexico, and flyweight champions and bantamweight champions. That, as their career progresses, you know, it's hard to make money at this division because the heavyweights rule the day, but they sure do put on good shows. And they're very technically skilled fighters, and I love to watch a good flyweight or bantamweight fight any day.
Usually you don't see a flyweight or a bantamweight that has had few fights to fight in a world championship fight. They do they do a lot of fights, they have a lot of skill, and they throw a lot of punches. Look at
Diaz is just doing a little defensive number here, but Dalakliev is trying to.
Dalakliev,
you know what? I was just something we should point out. These guys have been fighting, especially Dalakliev in Europe, under the point system, the amateur point system. So you can see in his style here, he's throwing a lot of punches, but they don't really develop those effective punches because you can win a match and not really throw the hard punches, just landing punches, and that's what he's doing right now. He's just landing a lot of punches.
The score.
He's scoring.
The scoring system is to score. It doesn't matter how hard the punch is. What matters is where you hit your opponent. Pat Burns leaning in over the ropes to give instructions. Dalakliev, good combinations there, and it was a good job of keeping up his defense. Hands are down now, but he's far enough away from his opponent. Still trying to get through. Still trying to get through that defense. You know what Diaz does with his gloves up around his face, does a nice job of protecting himself.
He looks like he could use a meal or two or something, you know what I'm saying? He looks a little drained.
He's pretty thin. The thin man. Detelin, Dalakliev.
Round 3. Scheduled for 5, as always, in this World Series of Boxing. Memphis Force is leading the team competition 2-1, 2 matches to 1. They lost the heavyweight, then came back and won the light heavy and the middleweight ranks. And so now they're in a big position here for Miami, who won their home opener against the Los Angeles Matadors. And so they were hoping to continue that momentum, but if they lose this one, they're not going to win tonight.
I can tell you who's going to win.
Who?
Whoever scores the most points.
Whoever scores the most points.
So it happens every time, every game. Every match, I see it happen all the time.
That's the first time I've seen Dalakliev try to throw that left hook, a sweeping left hook. Now,
and good
Luis
work from
Diaz has decided to start using the footwork.
A change from him. Look at him. He's the one moving.
Oh, they stepped on each other's foot right there. You talk about the righty-lefty thing. They just crossed feet. Now he's getting Dalakliev's attention, don't you think?
Yes, he is. He's more
getting
elusive
frustrated
now. More elusive this round. He's popping in and popping out, and he's punching.
He came straight in there, and Dalakliev just said, "Okay, I'll stop that. I'll grab your head." He just reached around and stopped him.
This is a fun fight. These two fighters are trying to
Good
punch
right
with all their
hand there
might.
from Dalakliev. I just don't know how much steam. I guess I'd have to ask Diaz how much steam Dalaklev's got on those punches. He lands a lot of punches.
Well, I can tell you right now, I have never been hit with an easy punch. They all hurt. They all have steam on them. Nothing else hurts your ego.
Yeah. Minute left in round 3. We know that Dalakliev won the first round. We saw the cards. Oh, there's a good right, left, right.
Now he's getting through that defense. Remember that defense earlier was impenetrable, but now Dalakliev is getting through there. Downstairs to the body and then to the head.
Yeah.
Right between those gloves.
That was textbook right there.
You split those gloves and land. Good connection.
Diaz trying to go to the body. He's dropping his hands. He's trying to let it go a little bit. You know, he's gotten tagged here, so he's gotten his dander up a little bit.
And I tell you what, he is learning in this fight too. he's certainly a different fighter this round than he was back in that first round. Remember how wild he was in the first round? He's mixing in some shots here in this third.
20 seconds left, round 3, bantamweight division. If Memphis wins this fight, they close out the team competition for tonight. But always remember, we try to give you details about the World Series of Boxing so that you'll know a little bit more about it. The individual competition is important. If you win your individuals, you get to go to the World Championship. And from the World Championships in Macau, China, there's a toss as the bell rings. As I was saying, you can go to China, and when you're individual, you go to London for the 2012 games. That's what they all talk about whenever we talk to them. You see, what's this kid got to do now, Sean? He's changed styles so many times. I don't know how he's going to what he's fighting.
Well, I like what he did in the last round. He in the last round, he got in, he scored, and he got out. Instead of trying to stay in there with, the taller foe in Dalakliev, Diaz would walk around, he would turn, he would kind of stay on his bicycle a bit.
Well, it looks like Dalakliev won again.
Well, he's got a good style in there. He is not wasting many punches, Dalakliev. He is throwing. He's got a lot of ring generalship, too. He's not panicking.
Well, in case you're wondering, we're in round 4. Dalakliev is 27 years old, 12 years experience. So that means he's a well-accomplished amateur over in Europe. That's why they brought him over here when they drafted him to fight in this series. So he knows what he's doing. I mean, he's been going to the World Championships for 7 years.
Oh, yeah, he's a professional amateur. Yeah. We asked, there's a language barrier problem between he and his trainer. But Anthony Bradley said, you know what, he knows exactly what I'm talking about. I just tell him, just wind him up and let him go. And many of these fighters like Dalakliev, they know how to train themselves. You don't really need to train them. He already knows how to fight. Just get him in shape and wind him up and let him go. And he's good. Good right hand from him.
If Diaz is going to come back in this fight, he's going to have to get off his motorcycle and he's going to have to engage and throw some punches. But I think he doesn't really want to do that because he's been getting hit so much that right now it's the point for him to say, can I sneak one in somehow, like there on the counter, and not take the punishment that I was taking? Because you notice he's, from the first round on, he's running more and more as the fight went on.
Sure, but notice where he's moving too. Most of the power for Dalakliev is in that right hand. Yeah. He's got a very good right hand. He's naturally right-handed, and Diaz is moving into that right hand when he moves to his left.
And you got to give Dalakliev a lot of credit on his defense too. He knows how to shut you down. He knows how to hold you. He knows how to grab you when you to stop your momentum. So
he's been around the block.
This guy's been around the block.
He knows. He's very wily in that ring.
Keeps pressing forward, trying to cut off the ring, trying to land as many. There's a good body shot right there.
Wow, look at that. He's turning it up here.
Yeah. He turned it up.
Pressure. He sees an opening.
Sean O'Grady always talks about the way you're going to get a guy to stop running is go to that body. You saw the air come right out of Diaz right there after taking that body shot. Right on the belt line. Under 50 seconds left in round number 4. These good lighter weight classes, we always expect them to go the distance.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But a lot of these fights have gone the distance anyway.
We haven't had a knockout in the shows we've done.
But
we've had
you said only 2 fighters down.
I think we only had 2 down, really, but we've had a lot of action.
And these people in this World Series of Boxing are so focused on their career. Good foot feint and a combination from Dalakliev.
Yeah. Now he's dropping those hands. 15 seconds left in round number 4. Another big round for Dalakliev, trying to close out the show here and get his team the victory here, which would be a nice comeback from the way the Mexicans rudely treated him in Mexico City when they took on the Guerreros. They treated him very rudely.
How dare them. Well, the final round is coming up. There's a look at Dalakliev, an outstanding boxer. You know, they don't speak the same language, but Anthony Bradley is telling Dalakliev what to do, and Dalakliev is listening. He doesn't know what he's saying, but he's listening. You saw a yes from him. He'll pick up more English as this league continues. Here he is on the attack. I'll tell you what, he's got a lot of good skills, good punches, very few wasteful shots from Detelin Dalakliev. I like this young man.
Well, he's just glad to be here, I guarantee you. And they know that in the Miami corner, they know that Luis Diaz is in trouble. But you got to give the young man credit. He just arrived yesterday. Yesterday.
Luis Miguel is a tough fighter. He got a lot of confidence.
Oh, look at him come right out. They told him he's got to take this round, is what the handler was telling him over there. Here he comes. Now, I think he's going to have to engage more in the center of the ring, and the running around hasn't gotten it done. So he's going to have to try to land some big shots if he can. He's a tough little customer.
Oh, yeah, he's got a lot of heart, too. Diaz does. But every time he tries to do something, Dalakliev figures it out and pampers him for it. You know, he smacks him for it. And every time you reach for a punch, you get knocked in the head for it. You're beaten back down.
Well, they're going to really, Memphis, when Dalakliev gets this decision, they're going to be in a very commanding position because their big headliner, Raynell Williams, is going to close out the show, so they could wind up with a very big night in terms of their score.
Well, we talked about how important that homestand is. The home field advantage is huge in any sport. Oh, is he hurt?
I think Dalakliev's working him over pretty good. He might be a little bit hurt, Diaz, here.
No.
It'll be a tough customer to get out, but Dalakliev's only gotten more and more confident in landing more accurate punches as this fight's gone along.
Look at that, like that.
Like that, what I was just saying.
There.
Yeah, that's sort of that, yeah.
More accurate punches and not getting hit with shots with wild punches from his adversary.
He just caught a little right hand there in an awkward moment that Diaz managed to throw it.
Yeah, Dalakliev's a good fighter. Look, he doesn't get caught often. And he's kind of doing there's a lot of ring generalship from him. From Dalakliev. No holding and hitting, says the referee, Geraldo Poggi.
Final round of this bantamweight fight.
Nice work.
I tell you what, the Bulgarian's done a good job tonight.
Work to the end. You know, it's a good pace, too.
Been with his team, got drafted this summer. They knew he was going to be a special talent for Memphis.
Even turning southpaw and scoring.
We were talking about that when they got shut out down in Mexico City. That's a big important part for the coach to make those matchups. You know, it's the same fighters don't fight every fight. I mean, they got two different teams. They alternate. So if he had to do over, he might have put this guy in there just to try to do something against the Mexican bantamweight.
And well, that's going to be interesting
now
too.
We know how good Mexico is.
Sure, but as we whittle down these weight categories, we will be able to find out how Dalakliev does with somebody from the Mexican team that won their match, or someone else. You know, it's all the bantamweight division. It is going to be interesting to see how this tournament unfolds with all these fighters. You know,
Diaz closing out the show here in the bantamweight division. I think it's going to be a big victory.
Diaz trying, but
for Detelin Dalakliev. Diaz he's a tough customer. He's a bigger fighter. And that's going to do it.
Bigger and hard to fight. Oh, what a tough fighter this Dalakliev is.
He could probably go pro and do pretty well in the bantamweight division. I don't know if he's up there in terms of professional ranks, world class, but he's certainly world class when it comes to these semi-pro fights, these professional fights he's fighting now.
John.
They'll be adding up the scorecards.
They don't want to do an interview because you guys don't speak English.
I speak perfect. I speak perfect Hungarian. My Hungarian is really good.
It's Bulgarian.
Oh, sorry. No, sorry.
They have a translator standing by and everything. I mean, I don't know.
That makes it takes too long to do it.
We're awaiting the scorecards being handed up to our ring announcer.
Ladies and gentlemen, here are the scores from this bout number 4. Judge number 148-47. Judge number 2, 48-47. And judge number 3, 49-46. A unanimous decision from the Memphis Force, Detelin, Dalakliev.
Once again, Sean, that was closer than I thought it was too. The final scoring, we're getting a lot of that, but I think it was a domination, in my opinion, by this guy, Dalakliev.
I agree with you. He was really a force to be reckoned with in this fight. He kept control of the fight. He showed a lot of ring generalship, fought well from the outside and from the inside. In that final round, trying as he was, Luis Miguel Diaz just seemed to be just a little bit behind Detelin, Dalakliev. Dalakliev had the cleaner punches. He scored well. He did not get hit with many shots from Diaz, and I thought he won the fight. I'm just surprised it's as close as it was.